So Brian, we're working the king size branding for you here strong. But look, let me ask you this. Let me throw out the soft landing phrase, right? Even if Cal can somehow engineer things.
It's all about humanity.
Where am I? What am I doing here? What am I driving? What is premium fill? Thank you for tuning in on today's video, guys. This one has been a long time coming. From your point of view, I've been MIA from YouTube for about 3 or 4 months now. But from my point of view, I've been extremely busy. I haven't really had any time to record or make any videos. With this new job that I got, doing what I'm doing now, I've been working 10 to 12-hour shifts. Super busy. It's fun. I really have nothing to complain about. This is way better than being out over the road for now. We'll get into the pay later, but for now, being a company driver doing this versus being out over the road, this is way better. Way better. But anyways, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everyone's new subscriptions, comments, everything. I appreciate all of it, guys. Thank you so much. So here, what I'm doing, I'm driving the same thing this truck right here in front of me has, the double trailer, the bottom dump. We get loaded from the top by one of those loaders, excavator things, with dirt, with rocks, with sand. I mean, that's dirt. And we take it somewhere. We take it to concrete mixing plants, asphalt mixing plants, construction sites where they're packing it down and creating a new foundation. We take all that stuff there. And today's route, we're picking up, me and this guy right here in front of me, we're going over to that pile. We're picking up rock chips. I guess it's like rounded up rock, and they call it number 4 rock chips. We're picking that up, and we're taking it about 20 minutes away to another plant similar to this, but they mix cement. They mix cement, they manufacture cement. So that's what I'm doing today. Yeah, this is completely different than working for Swift, being out on the road 5 or 6 days a week. It's night and day, man. It's night and day. I've been doing this, working here since February. It is May 2nd at 10:03 in the morning. I've been working since 5:15 this morning, and I've been up since 4:30. That's my typical routine every day. Wake up, well, during the week, Monday through Friday, wake up at 4:30, get to the yard around 5:15, get out to the site like this by anywhere between 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning, depending on where it's at and what time they open and get loaded. And I just run laps. I pick up dirt or rock and I take it to wherever it needs to go, and I just do laps. Depending on how far away point A and point B is, I can get in 6 laps, I can get in 8 laps. Today I'll probably get 8 laps. That's about that's probably about 9 hours of work just going back and forth, and then counting the drive time to get here and the drive time to get back to the yard. That'll accumulate to about 10.5 to 11 hours. Watch out, Crow, before you get ran over. So it's a lot of fun. I don't got much to complain about. I got the AC running. I'm not in an automatic, I'm in a manual, and I'm floating my gears. If you can see down here, I'll kind of angle the camera down here. Like, I'm not using the clutch at all. You just gotta feather the throttle and then bump it out of the gear into neutral, and then match the RPMs to the gear I'm trying to engage into, or whatever you want to call it. But learning how to float gears, man. When I came to this company, this one that I'm working with now, let me backtrack a little more. When I got my truck training at my trucking school, I got trained in a stick shift, but I didn't learn how to float gears. We didn't do any floating gear. We would double clutch. So we, you know, double clutching. If you're watching this video, you probably know what that is. We would double clutch every shift. And let me make sure I can hear these guys, because this guy right here, he really wants you to be on the same page as him. So I'm gonna make sure if he says anything, I'm attentive to that and I'm listening, because at the end of the day I'm out here working, so I need to pay attention to what he's doing. But what was I saying? So when I was in trucking school, I learned how to drive one of these, but we were double clutching. I didn't learn how to float gears. So when I came to this company, after not shifting for about 8 months and driving an automatic truck for about 5 to 6 months, it was and not having any experience like shifting in cars or anything, only like in motorcycles. I've ridden motorcycles for about a year when I was 19 and 20, and you gotta shift through the gears and that. It's kind of similar, kind of not. So I'm coming here, I'm thrown into this truck, and I am pretty much forced to learn how to float gears. The first day I'm thinking, it's a piece of cake, I'll figure it out. I mean, I know how to double clutch. What difference is floating gears? Piece of cake. That just was not the case. I had a hard time my first day, even my second day, floating gears. I thought I knew what I was doing. I was doing everything completely wrong. So I went home, I recalibrated, I jumped on YouTube, I saw a handful of videos on how to do it. I came back the next day. It was night and day after watching those training videos and learning properly how to float gears, because it's completely different than double clutching. It's completely different. I'm not going to get into that. Maybe one day, if you guys want to see that, I can do a quick video on how to float your gears versus double clutching. But yeah, in these trucks, we float our gears. Can I get number 4 rock chip, 25 tons? Number 4 rock chip, 25 tons, please. So yeah, that was interesting. Fast forward almost 3 months, I got it down pretty well. You know, after shifting for freaking 10 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and for almost 3 months straight, you kind of, it gets embedded in your brain. At this point, it's almost like second nature. By all means, I'm not a professional at it. I'm definitely still a rookie or an amateur, whatever you want to call it. But I'm still learning every day, every week, every day. I'm still learning little tips and tricks and little things here and there on how to manipulate the truck and the gears better. And I'm getting better at it every day. But that's cool. This is different. It was fun. Now it's just, I don't even think about it. It just happens. But yeah, so I'm getting loaded right now with number 4 rock chips, 25 tons of that. I have no idea how these guys in these excavators determine how much weight is in that scoop, but they've been doing it a while. Maybe you could fill me in on the comments. I've never asked them how do they figure out how much weight it is, but they get pretty close. I'll probably get 24.5 tons. Thank you, sir. They get pretty close. So now that I'm loaded, I gotta pray to God, cross my fingers that he didn't overload me with additional weight that exceeds 25 tons, because then I'll have to pull up over here next to this mound of dirt, jump out and dump some of that, and that's a waste of time. I'm trying to keep up with my buddy over here so you guys can see how we dump this dirt out. But now that I'm loaded, I go over to the scale house and I jump on the scale, and then I get my tickets, my papers, and we head off to the dump site.
Good to go.
This is where you trim those little piles, those little like gravestone looking piles. That's where you trim if you have too much. CE35 coming on scale, number 4 rock chip. So this is the scale right here. And those red numbers up there is the readout to how much weight I have. I do not want that to exceed 80,000. If it exceeds 80,000, then I'm gonna go waste some time and dump some of that dirt out. So it looks like we got 79.1. I'm waiting for the Weighmaster's green light thumb, where he'll tell me on the CB I'm good to go. There it is. There's the thumb. So we're good. Come over here, get my paperwork. I will input this information when I get back. And right now, we're gonna head out. So yeah, this job, it's a lot of fun, man, compared to driving freight. I mean, they both have their pros and cons, but this one's fun because I get to interact with people more often throughout the entire day. You don't really get to do that when you're hauling freight. This one, you know, I'm in my hometown right here in San Diego, California, so I'm very familiar with this area, so it's cool to come up here to the mountains and to see what's going on behind the curtain and everything at these landfills and whatnot. And yeah, it's fun. Over here driving in the dirt, shifting gears all day, jumping on a CB. I didn't have a CB when I was driving for Swift. But yeah, I like it. These local gigs, I mean, if I'm hauling dirt or if I'm doing like local freight for, I don't know, grocery stores or whatnot, things like that, you typically start off, from what I've looked into, around $23, $24, $25 an hour, depending on your experience. If you have a decent amount of experience, like 6 months plus in that specific area that you're trying to get into, you might be able to start off at $26, $27 an hour. I should be getting a raise here soon after my 3-month probationary period with this company. Right now they got me at $25 an hour, and once I hit my 3-month mark, I'm looking to make $27 an hour. And you know, after 8 hours, it's time and a half, and then yeah, I get about 50 to 55 hours a week. It could be more than that if I wanted to put in more work, but I mean, I'm not trying to work 12-hour shifts every day, so I only do about 9 to 10 hours typically. But of just working, that's not including like the drive time to get here. I get paid for the drive time to get here and the drive time to get back to the yard, but I'm just specifically talking about like driving in these circuits. So the pay, you guys really want to know, like, well, how much were you making here and how much were you making there for Swift? When I was with Swift, I was making a guaranteed grand gross, and after taxes it was about $750 to $850, give or take. I can't remember. I think it was $800. When I'm working here, I take home anywhere between like $950 to $1150 a week take home. So that means I'm earning total a week, this is with before taxes are taken out, I'm earning between $1,200 to $1,500 a week. And then my net, my take home, it's anywhere between $950 to $1,200. I average between $1,050 to $1,100 a week. and I get to go home every day. I get to interact with people. My coworkers are awesome. I get to be out here getting out of the truck frequently, and I get to be out here in the mountains, drive on the freeway, go down by the ocean. It's awesome. I mean, I really can't complain. Now let's get into the numbers if I were an owner operator, because I did the numbers, I crunched them all, I ran the rates, what the rates are out here for what I'm doing now, and for what the rates are out here if I were hauling freight on the West Coast. You guys aren't gonna like this, but hauling freight, you make more money. The job sucks, but you make more money hauling freight, unfortunately, unless you can frequently get into government contracts hauling dirt and rocks. If you can get into those, you'll be making decent money. But if you're out there hauling freight, you're making more. Hauling freight, you can easily get $3, $4, sometimes $5 a mile. If you're hauling aggregates like dirt and rock, what I'm doing, we call this aggregate work, you'll be making anywhere between $7 to, if you're lucky, $10, $11, $12 a ton. They do it by the tonnage for the most part. So if I'm hauling 25 tons, in this case it's probably 24 and a half, you multiply that by $7, $8, $9 per ton, and then if I can get 8 laps in a day, you multiply that number, and that's how much you can make in a day, and then you multiply that number by 5 days out of the week, and that's how much you can make out of the week. Now you got to keep in mind, fuel's expensive right now. It's super expensive right now, and these trucks, these construction trucks, dump trucks, they go through a beating, man. Like, look at all this vibration and all these potholes and all this shit that I gotta maneuver around. These trucks go through a beating. They go through tires faster, they go through brake chambers faster. We're constantly braking. They go through windshields. We're always like getting rocks kicked up and cracking the windshields. The clutch, we're always shifting, grinding gears. I mean, it's hard not to grind gears, because that's just what you do. Every once in a while you just end up grinding some gears. You can't help it. You grind gears, transmissions have to get replaced, all kinds of stuff, man. The trailers, they gotta get service. You know, that stuff just shakes and rumbles violently. Speed bumps everywhere, constantly going off-road. Like, it's a lot, man. So these trucks and these trailers, this equipment goes through more maintenance, and that's more expensive than being out there on the road. So yeah, that's more expensive. So you don't make as much money being out on the road, and your maintenance costs are more expensive than being out there on the road. So I mean, those are two negatives right there. Now let's get into the positives. You get to be home. You get to work around your city wherever you live. I'm sure there's some sort of aggregate work you can find anywhere you live for the most part. I don't know. In this city, in San Diego, there's dozens of plants, between like dirt plants, cement plants, asphalt plants. There's all kinds of like new construction where they need that stuff to come in. There's always work, but the rates, from what I'm told, the rates fluctuate. If it's a good season or not, I don't know. I haven't figured that one out yet. But as a company driver, this is way better. You make more money. You get to be home every day. You get to talk to people. Like, that's a big thing in my eyes, guys. I gotta interact with people. Being out there on the road, it is so lonely. It's so boring. You're by yourself. Nobody talks to you. Like, there's nobody to talk to. It's not that nobody talks to you. There's nobody to talk to when you're out there. So, I mean, those are some of the pros and cons with being out on the road. That's what I'm talking about, grinding a little bit of gears. That's not heavy grinding, that's light. That's just me holding it in place to get it in gear. That's not forcing it in. But I don't know, I'm still figuring it out. I've only been out here for 3 months. I'm gonna jump on the freeway. I'll resume this when we get over to our dump site. So the last plant I was at, they were on channel 17. This plant here, they're on channel 12. So this is a plant where we're dumping this dirt. I think they mix cement over here, and over here they do asphalt. So you got cement mixing trucks over here, and then you got like the Super 10s, the dump trucks that are getting loaded with asphalt. So we're gonna head to the back where we dump this dirt, and I'm gonna show you guys how we do it. There's 2 different ways how to dump it. So I'm gonna show you guys how we do one of those 2 ways. CE35 coming in number 4 rock chip for A1 soil. So we're gonna dump it right here on this little streak. So we got 2 trailers, we got 2 switches, one for the rear, one for the front. Pop these guys up, and those are our switches. When these lights light up red, it means our gates on the bottom of the trailer are open. So I'll come over here, and if you can see that right there, there's one pile. So I'm gonna pop the back gate first, and then the front gate, and just keep moving. If I slow down, I'm gonna get stuck. So there goes the dirt right there. I make sure my gates are open in my mirror, so I know I'm empty. Red lights, gates are open, and then I just go ahead and close them. And that's it. That's one way of dumping it. The other way of dumping it, I'll insert some footage right here while I'm talking. So I got this thing and that thing filled with sand. I got a little control right there, that like stick looking whatever. And then these are gonna open. The sand is gonna dump out in here. And it's gonna go on the belt, and it's gonna go on this belt, and all into that pile. Cheerio. No, I mean, governor. No, what do you mean? So that's the other way of unloading the dump truck. So we can either do a rolling dump like what I just did, or we can pull up over a grizzly and manually drop it that way. And that's it. That's pretty much how you operate one of these rigs right here. On my day 1, my first day, I had to drive a flatbed. That was interesting. That was a lot of fun. It was a freaking Peterbilt long nose, crazy 30, 40, 50 gauges up here on the dash. That was interesting. A lot of fun. They haven't thrown me in the flatbed since, and I don't blame them because I had no idea what I was doing. But this is a lot easier. This is fun. So now I'm gonna drive back, jump back in that long line, and I'm gonna get loaded again and just come back over here and do the same thing. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll probably get 8 loops. That'll be about 10 hours of driving, 9.5, 10 hours of driving. And then I'll take the truck back to the yard, I'll fuel it, I'll park it, I'll close out my paperwork, I'll turn in the paperwork real quick, and I'll be on my way home. The magnificent thing about working for these guys, the company I work for right now, where I live and where the yard is located, where we park the trucks, it's only 10 minutes away. 10 minutes away. It's amazing. Versus driving up all the way to freaking Fontana to the Swift terminal. That was about an hour and a half, hour 45 minute drive. That sucked. That sucked. This is way better. This is, I have no complaints about what I'm doing right now. I get paid more. I'm home every day. The commute is only 10 minutes away. I hit no traffic. It's cake. It's freaking cake. So I've been to a couple pretty cool spots. We've been on base right here, Miramar Air Base. They got a cement mixing plant right there on base. We've taken sand over there for them. I guess sand is one of the key ingredients for mixing cement. I got to drive pretty much on the airstrip. The F-35s flew over, the F-18s flew over. I drove right by a landed Osprey. That was pretty awesome. That was a lot of fun. Get to do a lot of cool things working with these guys. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, guys. Once again, I'd like to thank you for watching, for subscribing, for leaving a comment. I try to reply to everyone's comments, so thank you for engaging down there in the comment section. And keep a lookout for another video. I mean, this is pretty much what I'm doing. I could upload another video of this. I don't know, let me know if you enjoy it or not. Let me know what other videos you guys want to see. But yeah, thanks for being patient with me for this video. It's like about 3-4 months for it to come out, but I've been trying to settle myself into this company and really get this down and get comfortable doing this work before I come out here, strap on the GoPro and make a video. But I'm gonna get back out here on the road. So once again, thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for the other one. I'll try to make another video on my plans for the future, because I'm only working for these guys to get my driving experience so I can go back to these trucking company or dealers, these truck dealers, so I can finance my own truck and trailer and start making some big bucks, inherit a lot of responsibility. So that's what I'm doing right now, guys. I'm just getting my driving experience for that. So if you want a video on how I formed my LLC, how I've obtained my DOT, my MC, my California number, all that stuff. Look at this guy. Come on, buddy, I got my blinker on. If you guys are interested in content like that, the business side of trucking, I haven't really got into it yet. I've gotten all my I's dotted and my T's crossed for it. But if you're interested in that type of content, let me know down in the comments, and I can provide you guys with that information, those videos. But anyways, once again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.